It's your weekly blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Hello, everybody. It's a great day outside, and we're going to get right to the meat and the potatoes, right? We're going to talk about frictionless customer service today. That's frictionless customer service. We got a couple of different areas we're going to cover. I'm going to list those out for you real quick. We're going to remove obstacles. We want to be easy to work with. We want to create a yes culture. We want to make sure that everybody knows that it's okay to take care of the customer without repercussions, right? And finally, we don't want to let rules and processes get in the way of doing the right thing. So number one, remove obstacles. If a customer tells you that they can't afford something, or if they're not able to get to you today, or et cetera, they're throwing up roadblocks in your way, right? And so what you have to be skilled as, and you have to make sure your staff is skilled as, is making sure that whatever obstacle your customer's put in your way, you're knocking down those obstacles. Do it nicely, do it with a smile. But if somebody comes in and they say, hey, I don't have the money for that right now, then one of the first things we should say is like, oh, have you seen our financing option that we have? Or give them another reason. Give them a way to say yes, because sometimes they need a way to say yes as well. Be easy to work with. Just be nice, especially with the way everything's going on currently in the world. Everybody's stress level is like at a 9 or a 10. And we just want to smile through the phone. Like right now when I'm talking, I got a big old grin on my face and everything's great. It's all puppies and rainbows, right? And people can hear that over the phone. So if we need to stop, take a deep, deep breath and answer the phone before we do that every time, so everybody sees our smile, then that's what we need to do. We're in a rush, and sometimes we feel rushed, and sometimes you just have to step back and really take that in, right? And then make sure that it gets across. We want to be easy to work with. Create a yes culture. If the customer wants to come in today and says, hey, I need a brake inspection today, can you get to that? Sometimes we jump from A to X, right? So we're thinking about, brake inspection. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the parts for that. Johnny, the technician, went home sick. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, sorry, customer, I can't get that done for you today. When they didn't ask you if they could get it done today, they just asked you if you could get a look at it today. So what we need to do is make sure that we say yes, because we want to be a yes culture, and we want to make sure that they bring that car into us. But the other side of that is we have to make sure that we set the correct expectation, right? So whenever we're doing that, if we say to the customer, hey, you know what, I definitely can get a look at it today, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get the parts for it. But you know what, bring it on down. We'll complete that inspection. We'll also complete our digital vehicle inspection, and we'll get that over to you so you can approve it, and we'll source those parts and get that done. We should be able to get it done tomorrow with you. Our expectation as owners and service writers and everything else is that we have it back in the same day. Most people, if you polled all your customers, they're good 2-3 days if they've got options, right? So if you tell them, hey, we'll get a look at it today and let you know what it is, but it's going to be a day or two before we get it fixed, they're okay with that. They just want to know if they can bring it in today and drop it off. And so the answer is always yes, right? We're going to create a yes culture. Number 4 on the list is make sure everyone in your organization knows it's okay to take care of the customer no matter what, and there are no repercussions, right? So just because one person handles something one way and you as an owner handle it a completely different way, it doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it different, right? So one thing we want to do is make sure that the customer's taken care of first. Everybody's got a smile on their face, and yes, sir, Mr. Customer, I'm so glad you came in today. Of course we can get to that. Of course we're going to get your problem taken care of. I'm sorry that we had to handle that under warranty, but you know what? If you bring it in, we're going to get you taken care of, squared away, period, end of story. No skin off your nose on your side of it. So that's the side that I want them to portray to the customer, make sure the customer's handled. I don't want them to have to go to 8 different people to finally say yes to a customer. But here's the other side of that, right? So on the other side of that, I want you, if there's something that you would have done different, what you have to do is you have to pull that employee aside and be like, hey, I think when you took Kara, Chuck, that was great. And really, really thank you for being able to take care of him and getting him back on the road. I know he appreciated it. If I were in that situation, I would have handled it this way. And then you just tell him how you would have handled it. It's not a bitch session. It's not anything bad. You just want to stop and be like, hey, this is how I would have handled it. And in the future, if you see it this way, then please handle it this way. That's all you got to do. But again, first, got to make sure that the customer's taken care of all the time, 100% with no issues. And one of the things that comes to mind is I had a client recently that was like, hey, somebody came in, they were overcharged. It was clearly our mistake. And the guy at the counter was like, oh, I don't know how to refund your money. And basically that's all he said. And so the customer left upset. I think there's about 20 different ways we could have handled that. Making sure that we know our processes and procedures, making sure what we should have done has been like, you know what? Absolutely. I'm so sorry we messed that up. We take responsibility for it. I'll talk to the owner. We'll get a check in the mail to you. The customer doesn't need to know if you handle it that way or not. In that situation, you handle it. They get their refund. You set a timeline on it. It's done. Okay. Awesome. So the other thing is, let's make sure that, and this one ties into the other one, let's make sure that our rules and processes and procedures don't hamper customer service. Let's don't have an employee that points to the rule and says, oh, because of this rule, we can't take care of you. And let's make sure we're not telling them that. And again, so make sure that your processes and procedures do not go against your culture, and make sure they don't get away. And also make sure that all your employees know that it's okay to take care of the customer first. If we follow the process and procedure most of the time, that's great. But in this special circumstance, we had to do this. And so have like an after action report, talk to your employee about it. And again, I'm glad you took care of the customer first. Thank you for doing that. This is how I would have handled it. So again, we want to practice frictionless customer service. And how we're going to do that, we want to remove obstacles. We want to be easy to work with. We want to create a yes culture. We want to make sure that everyone knows it's okay to take care of the customer without repercussions. And we don't want to let the rules and processes get in the way. And again, we always want to be smiling when we're on the phone taking care of the customer. You guys have a great day. Thanks.